What is up, y'all? My name is Brock Jacobs. I am 19 years old from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I'm standing out here in the cold, pouring rain to show to you guys that I am willing to do whatever it takes to whoever it takes in the game of Survivor to make sure that I get to day 39. And I know that I'm willing to do that because A, I'm standing here in the rain whenever I could be inside and dry, and then B, because I've had to do it my entire life. Growing up, I always had to fight for the spotlight because I'm an identical twin. Whether it was in school or at home, it was always a fight between my brother and I to prove who's the better twin. Obviously, I knew it was me, but not everyone else around me knew that. And when I was at home, whether that meant lying about something that I did and getting my brother in trouble for it, or staying up at night just that extra hour studying to make sure that my grades were better than his, I did it. And also, call me the next Sierra, but if him and I were to ever end up on a season together, I love him. But if it came down between me or him, I would vote his ass off so fast that he wouldn't even realize what hit him until Tribal Council and his torch was snuffed. One thing that I think makes it harder for a lot of young people such as myself to make it on the show is the fact that we might not have as much life experience as the people who are older, which is pretty much true, but for me, I think it's not. When I was 17 years old, I got my first job working at a grocery store, not because I wanted to, but because I needed to. And since then, almost 2 years later, I still work at the same grocery store, but I've moved up in positions and I have to work during college, which isn't easy, but working during college has taught me how to manage my time and how to deal with people. That's another thing with working in retail, is the fact that you learn how to deal with the worst kind of people. Man, I tell you, I've been cussed out multiple times by customers and had to keep my cool. And it was hard, but I did it. And I feel like that'll help me in the game of Survivor because I'll be able to manage my social skills with people when they might not be happy with me to make sure that I get further in the game to day 39. Another huge part of Survivor, of course, is making moves, and big moves at that. But more importantly than making the big moves is making them correctly. And I feel like I've been able to do that in my life through working at the grocery store that I said before. When I started at 17 years old, I was just a bagger and I hated my job. So I tried to become a cashier when I was old enough, but my boss refused to let me do it. Sadly for her, she had to go on medical leave at some point that year, and whenever she did that, I made my move. I talked to the temporary boss who particularly liked me and convinced her to be able to promote me, and she did. And when my boss came back, she wasn't too fond of it, but what could she do about it then? When I told all of my family that I was going to audition for Survivor, only 3 of them didn't laugh at me, and that was my mom, my dad, and my brother. And yeah, I might not be the strongest, most athletic guy, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to do my best out there. I'm prepared to push myself and do whatever it takes to make sure that I go to as few tribal councils and make it to the end. Thank you.